In this video, we'll talk about what happens after a second marriage-based fraud interview that didn't go well. So we'll explain what happens, what are the next steps on the USCIS side, and what you should be doing on your side as you wait for the results of that second marriage-based fraud interview that didn't go well. Watch this video and let's talk about it now. So in this video, we're going to talk about what happens after a second marriage-based fraud interview didn't go well. What are the steps that USCIS is going to take and what you should be expecting to happen next? We have a lot of questions about this and even a few video requests from our viewers, and that's why I'm recording this video. But before that, if you're here for the first time, I urge you to subscribe to our channel. Just click that bell to be notified as we do videos every week. And a lot of our videos are based on your recommendations, your requests, and who knows, maybe you'll be next and your question will be answered and I'll do the video based on your question. And also, click that like below, give us a like, we love to see the interaction, and we are excited to be sharing information, valuable information to help you go through the complicated immigration process. And follow us on Instagram. We have 2 Instagram accounts right here. Click the accounts, send us a DM. We love Instagram and want to engage with you there as well. So let's talk about marriage fraud interviews. So first of all, before we talk about this video, remember that when you go through the process of getting your green card through a marriage, you know that you're going to have at least one interview. So after the forms are filed, after you do your biometrics, you will be called for an interview. That's called the first interview. And at that interview, they'll question you about your marriage, they'll want to see your bona fides, they want to see what documents you have, pictures and all that. Sometimes after the first interview, things don't go that well and they may need more information. And typically, they'll tell you, listen, go home and we'll let you know what happens. And then you'll get a letter for a second interview. It's called Stokes interview, a second marriage fraud interview, whatever you call it, depends on where you are in the jurisdiction. And in that interview, typically they'll separate the couples. And we've done videos about what happens after a second interview. We can link that video here, and they will, question you about your day. They'll question you about your life together. They'll cross-reference those questions. They're going to as they question you separately. And at the end of that interview, sometimes couples are not able to answer the questions correctly. Sometimes there's discrepancies. And at the end of that interview, they'll bring the couple together and say, you know what? Why did you say this? Why did you say that? We're not happy with those discrepancies. Go home and we'll let you know what happens. We still need to review the case further. And this is really a very uncomfortable time because you prepare for that second interview. It didn't go well apparently. You were nervous. You were stressed out. I mean, these are not very easy situations to go through. They ask you a lot of questions. Typically take about 2 hours per person. So sometimes it doesn't go well. But most people, when they leave those interviews, they really don't know what's going to happen because it may take 4 months or more for the government to make a decision. And so what will be the next step? So typically, at the end of that interview, when the officer meets with the supervisor, they will make a conclusion based on what happened in that interview, right? And so what they'll typically do in most jurisdictions, they'll issue a notice of intent to deny the case if an approval is not going to come. Sometimes there's an approval, but in most cases, if they don't tell you on the spot that it was a good interview, what we're going to expect next is a notice of intent to deny. And that notice, typically what it does, it summarizes what happened in the interview. They may refer to some of the inconsistencies. They say, you said the house is, the garden is green and you said the garden is blue, or you said that you have a Ford and he said you drive a BMW. So things like that, they're going to list those discrepancies. They're also going to say some of the things that noticed happened in the interview. They say, well, when I walked back into the room, he did that and then his wife did that. When I asked her about that, she told me a totally different answer. She said that on Sunday you were together at the house and he said he was working. All these things will be listed in the notice of intent to deny. And then when the notice comes to you, or if you have an attorney, the copy will be sent to the attorney. You will have 30 days to respond to the notice of intent to deny. And typically the idea is that they want to give you another chance to at least give your feedback as to what happened in that interview. And it's really important to plan correctly that response. Typically, when we get a response, when we get an intent to deny, we'll break down the interview. We usually take notes, and we say, you know what? This is really actually what happened. You think that they answered this, but they actually answered this. And here's their explanation as to why they forgot this answer. So it's really important to put everything you can into the response, because even if they deny it, your goal is to avoid determination of fraud. There's one thing for them to deny the case because they don't believe that you meet the standard of bona fide marriage, but there's more. You don't want them to put on the record that they think it was a fraudulent marriage, because there's a big bar between just getting them not to believe or not feel that you meet the standard, or making them determination of fraud. So you respond, and then within 60 days they may come back with a denial, or they'll approve it. If the case is denied, just refile or file a motion to reconsider. But we typically recommend just to refile the case and get a fresh start. So this is typically what happens after the second interview. If it didn't go well, most likely an intent to deny will be sent to you. And it's really important to prepare and respond to that intent to deny properly. And hopefully it will be approved. But if not, you may just need to refile this case all over again. So hopefully this information was helpful, because we do get those questions often, and here also in the comments we get a lot of these questions. So I've decided just to make a video and explain that process. So if you liked it, give us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in our next video.